This presentation is made possible by these amazing individuals and organizations. Whether it was through Patreon, Super Chats, Super Stickers, or by watching, liking, and commenting, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Hi guys! Welcome to the stream today. Yay! We're going to be talking about time travel, guys. I'm so excited about this. You don't know. If this is your first time here, we had a prior discussion about time travel. Got all of the ideas together, and I put together a little slideshow. And so I recalibrated and added some of the things that a lot of people suggested to me to add to that list. And now I think we have about the best list that there may be ever of time travel movies. So, without further ado, let's get to it. I am going to put down uh, this groovy banner here. Uh, yes, it's looking good. We are discussing time travel movies. Let's get into our DeLoreans and time travel, guys. Let's see who's here. Uh, uh, so first up, I wanted to thank. Let's see who it was. Um, I wanted to thank Patrick James, who became a member. So thank you, Patrick. I hope that you enjoy your membership, and thank you so much. This is going to help the channel so much. We're getting better and better every day. So crossing our fingers that yeah that things just slowly they're getting better and better, and it's all because of um, everyone who has joined Patreon, the memberships, and people have given super chats and really helped to support the channel in a tactile way, like a financial way. So thank you to everyone who's been so supportive in that way. Absolutely. It means a lot to me. The first comment up is from Lord Todd. It says, "Oh, everyone." Well, hello, Lord Top. I hope you are doing well. Hugs to the missus. And William Blake Hall says, "Hail Top and his lady." So nice. Um, and let's see, Keith E is here. Um, how are you doing, Keith E? Says Hooper just asked if you were going to be on today, and he said the seventh anniversary broadcast just ended a half hour ago. And for those of you who don't know, Hooper is Keith E's wonderful hippopotamus. And so we always like hearing what Hooper is up to. And just so we have some fanfare, I didn't make a big hoop-de-loo about William Blake Hall being here. So, oh my, it's really awesome to see you here because we are, of course, going to hear some words from William Blakehall, who sent me an email, and I'm gonna read those at the end of the video because they're very good, very retro contenty, if you will, and so I think we'll all benefit from hearing his words of wisdom and insights. Let's see. And let's keep going. William Blake Hall says, "Hello, just listening to Mike Post talking about how he wrote the Rockford Files theme. That sounds cool. I love those like behind the scenes videos that you can often find. I'm actually curating a little something about like behind the scenes for movies, for people who really love movies. So I can't wait to like share that playlist. I probably can share that playlist. Let me know if you guys are interested in me sharing that in playlist with you guys. It is private though, I believe at this moment, if I'm not certain. And Keith E says it was a great team. He can pick you right up as soon as you listen to it, and they definitely match the program. Oh, what? Okay, I guess I missed that one. I'm not sure what that's about. William Blake Hall says, "I hope we can get some more people talking because this is a huge subject. I regret our having so few women in the group because women really seem to go for time uh, time travel plots. Yeah, it is a very big, especially when applied to, a lot of romantic movies. I think us ladies like that kind of stuff. But and there's a few sci-fi ladies that are in my that do follow the channel and do like the channel. So maybe one or two might pop up. You never know. You never know. But to any of the ladies who are watching. Mwah, I would love to hear what you have to say. And even after this broadcast is over, do leave your comments in down below the video because I would be definitely interested to know what are your favorite time travel movies. And William Blake Hall says, "I'm in awe of that theme. Just so much personality. I thought someone tried to write a biography of Jim Garner with music, but it was much. It was much simpler than that." Okay. And Keith E says, "It's the lurkers lurking." Oh, cool. And oh, there's Unicorn Rampant Studio. How are you doing today? I hope you are well. Says, "Hey kids, hey kids." um, and Cora Got Killing says, "Here for the intro." Yes. Thank you for commenting on the intro. Just one of my favorite parts of the show. I get right into, today was a really crazy day for me, insane, busy, and I can't even. There's it's just crazy and pandemonium. But when I hear that intro, it really helps to calm me down and make me feel nice. And Michael Quaid is here. Says, "I was about to finally jump into one of your streams, but you're doing it at the same time as FNT. Oh, oh, Film Threat? Is it Film Threat that you I'm not sure what FNT means, but well look, I'm so sorry, Michael Quaid. Sometimes when I have two streamers that I like, I will play both of them and like bounce back and forth. But yeah, I'm so sorry. But hopefully you come back for the replay, and you'll be able to see what shenanigans we we come up to. Um, and let's see. Um, And Casey says, Hooper is jumping up and down and yelling, "Uncle Unicorn, Uncle." That's really cute. Oh, look, Instant Havoc is here. Says, "Hi, Retro Nerd Girl." Hi, and has a red heart for me and a purple heart too. Love that. Um, and Unicorn Rampant Studio says, "Hopefully he's doing it gently." Oh, man. And let's see, more chit chat amongst yourselves, which is so cool. And let's see. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, "A big wave to everyone." Let's see, what else? Oh, so I'm gathering, Unicorn, that you bump into deer and you have to be really careful not to scare them into traffic. That's really amazing that you bump into deer on a regular basis. That's cool. Um, and so considerate of you to be mindful of them. Um, and William says, you're an amazing individual yourself, R&D." Oh, thank you. And 80's made consumers here. Hello, everyone, he says. Um, and let's see, what else? Unicorn says, "The bridge construction has both disrupted their normal pathing and provided protection from other folks like cyclists and cars." Oh, interesting. And like Paul says, "All hailing frequencies open, Lieutenant Retro. The Internet International Science Fiction Station looking good." And Unicorn Rabbit Studio says, "If it's your first time, then buckle up." So cool. And Cinevic says, "Time travel is cool, but tricky. It is. It is very tricky." And so, the writing has to be really on point. Either say too little or or not enough about the details behind the time travel, and that might work. William Blake Hall says, "Don't jinx it, RNG. You say we have the best list, and then suddenly someone from 70 years in the future shows up and says, "No, here's the definitive list." Well, to date, I'll say that. To date, I think I've looked around. It really hasn't been very many, so And oh, look, Lord Troth gives us, I believe those are Spock hands, a Spock greeting, and everyone have gravy and onions ready for their liver. Oh yes, this is a saying that William Blake Hall said about time travel. It's tricky. You have to cook it just right, and sometimes you need gravy and onions. Or the statement is more like, time travel is like cooking liver. And, unicorn happens to just a bowl of fruity pebbles. And, William Blake Hall says that works too. And Barry On is here. It's hard to make time travel make sense. Yes, this is what I'm saying. But it doesn't always have to be back to it doesn't always have to. Back to the Future was a great film despite the time travel silliness. Yeah, there was just some very charming things about it. Of course, it doesn't make sense, but it had what was good about it, what was had continuity to it was the story. The story made sense. And oh, look, it's Brogu. So good to see you, Brogu. Says hello, everyone. Had a special hello in the intoxicating retro nerd girl. RNG, I really missed you guys. I wanted to say thank you for the kind words that you had for me and my father. I appreciate it. Oh, that is so nice to hear. Yes, we were thinking about you, and we wanted to make sure that you knew that we were here thinking about you. Just so glad to see you. And your Blake Hall says a new YouTube group called Target Audience. They just did all of the original track. It's two guys named Alex and Josh, and I'm with Josh, who says that time travel makes no sense. It In a way, yes. I mean, real time travel, in my opinion, doesn't make sense. Um, I've tried to imagine it in my head, and sometimes when I really think about the nuts and bolts of it, how would it work on a cellular level? It just doesn't add up for me. But I don't mind a great story that delves into it. And I'm willing because it's science fiction, right? The fiction part is in there. I'm willing to give it a pass. I just don't like when it's used as a means to write yourself out of a pickle. And a lot of movies do that. They'll write themselves into a corner and they're like, "Oh gosh, how are we going to get ourselves out of this one? Oh, time travel." And it just kind of makes me um a little bit like, I see what you're doing there. Not probably when I was a kid, I didn't notice. Laura Top says, Friday Night Tights. Okay. Oh, and look, Jack is here, guys. Hello from 100 degrees in Texas. Whoa. Wow. Uh, that's crazy. 100 degrees. What? I did, middle of summer. Yeah, that's, that's And oh, Lord Tops is clarifying Nerderotics channel is on at this time. Oh, okay. I'm I don't know much about that channel. I'm out of the loop, guys. I'll have to check that channel out later. Uh, and William Blake also says greetings, Texas. And so much really nice camaraderie in the chat. And Dr. J. Hale is here. What a super cutie, happy summer solstice. Oh, so nice to see you. And there's a little flower there. I love these little emojis. They're so cute. Oh, look, it's Integrity 101. Time travel, possible or impossible? What do you think? I think it's impossible, like from a cellular level. But I did have a concept that perhaps we'll be able to look into the past, especially. The future's a little bit more, it is a little tricky. Um, and we already kind of do that, speculations, whatever. Some people are right, sometimes people are wrong with their speculations. But I think with time travel, going back in time, we may get to the ability to be able to see things in the past, through different means. And whether the accuracy is correct, I'm not sure. But I don't think we'll actually be able to be in that space, as of my understanding of time travel right now, or what I think time travel is. So, like for me, I'm just like, if your cells exist now, and how do you take them with you through time and not degrade, or and still stay intact? And then also, can you go back to your regular time, or are you stuck in that time from then on? And a lot of different movies play with those rules, and I think it's fascinating. I like the idea of time travel, for sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Keith E says, if somebody from the future is going to pop in now. Oh yeah, I think, was it Carl Sagan? Um, or there was one, um, scientist that threw a party for time travelers, and nobody showed up. So, he thinks, by that hypothesis, time travel doesn't exist. I mean, they could have been there. They could have been there. They could have seen the party, but I'm not sure that they weren't able to make themselves known. So that is something that, in this universe, and based on the rules that are laid down here, unless something changes within our universe, I think it might be tough for people to actually exist in the space of another time other than their own. So, um, and interact with people from um, other time. Yeah, that's like, we can interact with the past by, in a way, by watching, but we can't actually, like, do anything. I mean, we can look at a picture, but we can't change what happened in the picture. So yeah, it's just so interesting. Let me let me see what else you guys have to say. William Blake also says, high integrity. I hope it's not possible. It's too much power. Ooh, I didn't even think of that. Luckily, I think you need gigantic devices called Tipler cylinders to make it possible. Interesting, interesting. I'm taking notes. William Blake Hall says, the first serious story I ever tried to write when I was 11 was about people from across the galaxy all trying to create one time machine. Wow. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Oh, Samuel Rivera is here. Hi. So good to see you in the chat. Says hello, RNG. I miss your commentaries of old sci-fi films. They're coming. They're coming. Actually, the next one isn't sci-fi. It's more fantasy. But I will be doing more. I will be. Yes. Will you be doing more? I will. You bring alternative perspectives. Thank you for saying that. I will be. It's just that, I got a few blows that were pretty hard to recover from, and I am definitely working on reviews now. So, that they are on the way, and I will also figure out, like, there's this book called, Life is Figure Outable, or something. Everything is Figure Outable, I think it's called. And I will figure it out. But, like, I'm, like, actually editing a video right now. That's what I did earlier this morning. So, hopefully after I'm done with this stream, I can edit some more. And thank you again for your comment, and definitely appreciate you mentioning, um, the videos, commentaries that I usually do and deep dives. I really appreciate that. That's my heart right there. And Laura Todd says time travel is mathematically impossible. Ooh, okay. I hear you. I mean, it to me it yeah. When I always say, and it's like a saying everybody says that the math isn't mathing, and for time travel, the math isn't mathing. But I'm not willing to rule everything out. Being a science fiction lover, being someone who has seen so many incredible things happen within her lifetime, and I'm sure you guys have too. It is, something that can be explored. I would love to see. I mean, now they're saying that there are computers now that can read people's thoughts. Wow. They can read people's thoughts and know what they're thinking and have a visual description of what they're thinking about. That there are ways now that people are able to, from like different rooms, know what was said in the other room. They're doing testing now on the human brain to see this stuff. So it is very interesting is very interesting what science is capable of. We just don't know what we don't know, what we don't know, what we don't know, right? So, right now, we don't know how time travel is possible. Um, but it doesn't look like it for us at this time. And integrity is 101 says, "Hi, William. Seems impossible, but at the same time, I think most of what we think as impossible is in fact very possible." Ooh, a very open mind there. Integrity says, in the very end of BTTF. What is that? Wouldn't there be two Back to the Future. Wouldn't there be two Marty McFlys? Well, yeah, there was for a little bit, until he went back to the past, right? There's the Marty that the family grew up with. Oh, where's the Marty that the family grew up with? Um, he's in the future. He's in the past becoming the current Marty. Right, he's still the same Marty, he just has to go into the past to experience what he does in the past, and then he makes it back to see himself go into the to see himself go into the past. So it's the same guy. It's just he's a lot. He knows a lot more now, and has experienced a lot more now. And that's really interesting how experience changes us just a little along the way. So that kind of brings us to like sort of how time splits, right? We have the point before the time travel and then after the time travel, how it affects the universe. And that's part of the reason why I think time travel is very hard to do. Like, actually put a person into a different, like, cellular structure into a new time. That's the part that's that that that's that's just stopping me from really accepting the idea of time travel per se. But I think viewing the past is probably something we'll be able to do. Um, William Blake Hall says traveling, time viewing, yes, is in fact a term from older science fiction about stories where you can look but you don't touch. Yeah, look but don't touch. Yes, I'm loving this conversation, guys. We haven't even got to the movies yet. Brogan says it's not. It's so hot here in Texas, 100 degrees. I wish the ice cream would pay us a visit with her perfect snowflake. Oh, you guys are so sweet. You guys are so sweet. Oh my God. Yeah, that is, I mean, I could use the perfect snowflake right about now. But yes, oh, that's so sweet. And Jack says, time travel and faster than light seems like the script. Get out of jail free cards. Yeah, like they invented the transporter on Star Trek because it was less expensive to show instead of shuttles. Ooh. I'll give them a pass for that. I'll give them a pass for that because you kind of want it depends on the show, right? Because I think sometimes these guys are like um it depends on the reasoning, but transporter, I'm actually writing a story right now where there is a sort of a like a like an acceleration travel thing. Um or light speed, if you will, light speed or warp speed. And then there's also transporter. I think transporter just makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to film the plane, the vehicle landing, the characters walking out, and then going to where they need to go to. But I think those moments when they didn't do that, I thought it never lost anything by actually having characters go in their little shuttles and get on the planet. I didn't see anything lost by that. um but yeah, it is a jail get out of jail free card all the time. Integrity 101 says lots of military and government whistleblowers out there that have talked about a lot of crazy tech, and I used to think it was pure fiction. All they Are they all lying? Seems unlikely. Who knows? Yeah, you never know. I definitely uh, don't claim to know anything. I don't have any definite any things. I have my skepticisms, but I think keeping an open mind about all these weird little things, all these concepts and ideas is not a bad way to look at things. Just I know the rules, right? I know the rules. The rules are, gravity is on the Earth, and if you trip on something, you fall. But there's also like other stuff that may happen, and I've yet to encounter them. But just because I haven't encountered them doesn't mean they don't exist. And that's what I love about this kind of topic. And William Blake Hall says, Jack, I love faster than light travel. Me too. There's something really cool about it, and the special effects for it. I do love the stars just whizzing past you, even though that's not true. Stars would never whiz past you, but it's cool. And yeah, I think we need to appreciate a sublight future as much as possible. Plus, I regret that shuttles got phased out for transporters. Yeah, I mean, shuttles are cool. I think so. Jack says sublight would require sleeper ships, AI we could trust, and decades to get to the nearest stars. Plus, there must be a class M planet to depark on. Interesting. Jack, you know a lot about this. And William Blake also says, um, and we still don't really have suspended animation as much as we take the idea for granted. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've never seen anybody suspended in animation, but I do love seeing it in films. A ship traveling close to light would stay relatively young, but it would take a lot of energy. Oh, look! It's Darth Plato. Hi there. How are you? Says Hail Chat. And Integrity 101 says, honestly, as I've gotten older, I've come to think a lot of stuff we see in sci-fi superhero films is possible or close to being possible, mostly because of whistleblowers I mentioned previously. It's a total possibility. I will not rule out everything. To me, to find the answer to time travel would be monumentally astounding to me. Simply because I don't understand it. And then, like, if somebody explained it to me and I saw it with my own eyes and it happened, I'd just be like, "Wow!" That would blow me away. And it would probably be the last thing I saw because it would be, I'm thinking it would be the end of you existing, like, really. Um, so, and also, what's also interesting? Um, the idea of the transporter, which is really weird because it has to take all of your cells apart and put you back together again. And I never really understood that, because it can do, if it could do that, basically it's killing you and bringing you back into another form, right? Is that correct? I'm so, that concept, when I was first looking at Star Trek, I was like, that's interesting. But now, like, going to try to think about how it actually can be done, it sounds really weird. Like, how does it replicate your memories and everything? Where does that stuff really exist? Uh, Fascinating. Fascinating. That's a word I suppose Spock would say, fascinating. And William Blake calls this, I'll take one Einstein over 1,000 whistleblowers. And integrity. So you don't believe any whistleblowers or former employees speaking out? Um, oh, that's a interesting question. You never know. I mean, um, because you can have whistleblowers, but you can also have plants too. You can have plants. Like if you are covering up something even more, like, incredible, you may say, hey, like, we'll put somebody out there to say a certain something, and just to distract them from this other thing. And so you never know. You never really know. Um, all right, I'm gonna and oh, okay, so uh William Blake Hall says anti-gravity, the Nazi Glock. I've seen all kinds of exotic ideas, but they sound cool. They sound cool, but they don't sway me. And oh, look, John Walker is here. Says hi. Hello all. Hi, John Walker. And William Blake Hall. Sean Holmes says, William Blake Hall, I think you're forgetting the ship's crew getting burned to death because of the extreme heat from traveling at high speeds. Oh, you mean for the warp speed? Oh, I didn't. Sean Holmes, you're bringing the reality, I guess, of it all. And I think, if the ship had some sort of stabilizers, for such things, maybe it's possible. Maybe if there was like some stabilizer to keep people from blowing up and getting burned to death. And says hi, everyone. Um, and Daryl Johnston is here. How are you doing, Daryl? Says the fly was a primitive transporter, right? It took him apart and put him back together again, but added a little extra, a little something, something. And Brogo says, RNG, do you remember an episode of Star Trek TNG where Picard was hit with an alien beam on the ship, and he lived a lifetime? Yes, as a different being, but only lasted minutes in real time. Yes, I remember that. I remember that. He had kids and stuff. It was really interesting. Oh, look, Hungry Jerk is here. Hi, hi, Hungry Jerk. Um, and Daryl Johnson says you would need a super duper computer to transport. Yes, you would. And Emily Blake goes, I don't know if it's that automatic, Sean. Interstellar medium is very thin, but it's worth defending against perhaps some kind of field. Wow, you guys are getting really technical. And Jack says that a sublight generate rational ship could do it. Ooh. Well, after this, I am going to write down all sorts of notes. I need that for my story. You guys are great. And William Bagel says, an arc, the old ideas die hard. Um, And yeah, yeah. Okay, great. We just finished with the comments. I caught up. Thank you everybody for being here and those amazing comments. Integrity 101. Wow, you've got so many ideas that were really great to discuss because yeah, the some points there, you know, we've gotten a lot of people who've said they've seen a lot of things, and a lot of it leads to some of the stuff we've had recently in the news, like aliens and all sorts of stuff, and we're finding out like maybe some of it's true, and I think all things will be revealed in time, and we just don't see the full picture yet. So, I hope it's good. I hope whatever uh, it doesn't mean anything harmful to mankind. And let's see. Oh, well, William Blake says, just call us the International Science Fiction Station Corps of amateur engineers. Oh, that is so sweet. That is so cool. And Sean Holmes says, I like the idea from the cartoons and Cheeriums. In it, people of Skyvault traveling using teleporters by wearing safety outfits designed for light beam travel. Sean, that's nice. Yes. That's nice. See, this is why I haven't seen I need to see the Centurion cartoon. Um, very nice. Love that idea. I mean, because you could time travel in a thing like that without getting your whole, your cells discombobulated, right? And Daryl Johnson says the best way to time travel is in your mind. Yes, that's what we do all the time. Oh, and Jack said the same thing. He says, I use that all the time. Yes, that's right. We get into our DeLoreans and take a trip. Uh, where we're going, we don't need any roads, right? And that brings me to the slideshow, guys. Let's get that going. So that way, let's see. Time travel movies. Let me see if I can do a little skipping. All right. So we went through all the time travel movies by um, alphabetically, right? So started off with the numbers. So I've got 11 minutes ago, 2007, 12 monkeys, 1995, uh, 12:01 p.m., 1990. Oh my God, Unicorn Rampant Studio. You know, this was gonna give me such a chuckle. A message from the 8th anniversary live stream. Time travel is real, guys. Okay, I mean, well, there's the discussion. No more from the 8th anniversary. Thank you so much. It says we've got a champagne bottle, I think, a time clock. I think it's uh is that an ice cream? A lightning bolt and a unicorn. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Um, let me see if I now I think this one also I have one for you, but I want to do this one for you. Um, it's a little bit different than the one I played the last time. Oh man, that just chuckles me so much. Yes. It. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. William says, "Thanks for inspiring optimism, unicorn." Oh. Um, and unicorn. William Blake Hall says, "Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. That's- Pilgrim. Now, who's Billy Pilgrim? Became unstuck in time. I'm not sure who Pilgrim is. Um, uh, Alouette, it is real. Time travel is real. Let me grab a spot of something to help clear my throat. Yes, it says, I think it's champagne. It looks like champagne, I think, or hot sauce. um, it says Keanu with puppies. Yes, and isn't it the cutest? Oh my God. And Jack says, have you watched 12 Monkeys yet? No, I didn't watch it yet. Jack reminding me I have so little time. I need to watch it soon. I will be watching it soon. Um, now that I have it, it's right here. It's like literally right here. It's right here. It's like waiting for me. It's just my life in the last few weeks. I would say the last month has gone like insane. There are no other words for that. I just go, 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 go. So I haven't been able to watch anything. Sorry, but I will. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says Slaughterhouse 5, Billy Pilgrim. Oh, okay. I am out of the joke. The loop here. Billy Pilgrim was in Slaughterhouse 5. I at least need a rundown of what that movie's all about. So I'm gonna have to do some investigating. And Brogu says, puppies, please don't touch my John Wick props. Oh man, yeah. And Ian is here. Hello, Ian. How are you? Says I reviewed 12 Monkeys a few days ago on my YouTube channel. It was a live stream. Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna have to check out your review of 12 Monkeys, um, and um, and just to get a little bit of it. And Darnell says, sounds like a watch party movie. Hmm, maybe. Let me see it first, and then we'll let me see it first. And William Blake also says Billy Pilgrim is the central character of Kurt Vonnegut novel Slaughterhouse Five. He may simply be suffering from Alzheimer's, but his mind goes back and forth and sometimes uh, to visit aliens in space. Oh, okay. I like this. What? See, Slaughterhouse Five makes me think of it's going to be a horror movie with Leatherface and the Hellraiser people are going to be in it too, and it's going to be insane, insane. But it sounds like it's a psychological thriller um, that I might actually like. Unicorn Rampant Studio says, "Don't forget RNG monkeys play a very very small role in the film visually." Oh, really? Okay. All right. Now the temptation is growing. Now you've really made this appetizing for me. All right. Um, the chat, my goodness, you guys are so awesome. Thank you for for making me laugh today. Um, and we had I'll just read off these really quickly where we don't have to go into this, but a Chinese Odyssey Part 1, Pandora's Box, 1995. I never saw that. A Christmas Carol, all of the adaptations, including Scrooge and all those Scrooge and Scrooged and all that stuff. Yeah, love it. Um, and they have time travel, but this kind of time travel um, is viewing is a viewing time travel, like William Blake Hall mentioned before, because you don't actually he doesn't get to interact with any of the characters, but he gets to see them. A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, 1949. Sound of Thunder, 2005. A Wrinkle in Time, 2003. A Wrinkle in Time, 2018. About Time in 2013. At the Atom Project, 2022. Alice Through the Looking Glass. That one I'm not sure. That one I'll have to investigate if she does any time traveling at all. She does dimension traveling, but I don't think she does time traveling. So I may have to adjust that one. Let me know how you guys feel about that one. Me moving Alice through the Looking Glass to um, dimension hopping, and Army of Darkness. That was in 1992, ARQ 2016, all of the Austin Powers movies, and Avengers Endgame 2019. Then B's, yeah, Back to the Future, all of those movies, Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, 2020, Beyond the Time Barrier, 1960. Oh, by the way, all of the ones that are highlighted in red are the ones that you guys found, that I inserted into the storyline, into the to the storyline. I just love stories. I'm always talking about story, but into this list. So those everything that we've seen so far that is in red is all of your suggestions, which is amazing. So we have the Bill and Ted uh, trilogy, that uh, and Black Knight, 2001, The Butterfly, 1999, The Butterfly Effect, 2004, 2006, and 2009. Then we have C, Click, 2006, Clock Stoppers, 2002, and Cyborg, 2087, that was done in 1966. That's one I'm really, really curious about, because I really want to see Cyborg, 2087. That looks interesting. All right, so we stopped at C's the last time, so we're on D's. Uh, and so we have The Dark Tower, 2017, Deadpool 2, 2018, Deja Vu, 2006, Defending Your Life, 1991, Dimensions, 2011, Dimension 5, 1966. And I'm really curious about that one. The Doctor Who movie in 1996, Donnie Darko, 2001, Don't Let Them Don't Let Him In, 2011, and Don't Let Me Drown, 2009. And let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. It's a lot that you're saying. Daryl Johnson says, 12 monkeys in a barrel with the lid nailed shut. No, is that where the monkeys are? I hope not. I don't want to see the monkeys be tortured. Unicorn Rampant Studio says, I'm just saying it's not scary the way scary things are. There are some bugs, but not besides but that's besides the point. Oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely ready to watch 12 Monkeys now. I am definitely gonna see it uh, with the lights on. And William Blake Hall says, the title Slaughterhouse Five refers to a moment in Billy Pilgrim's life when he served in World War II. Okay, it's a name that really doesn't uh, it pertains to the story, but it isn't. It doesn't denote anything about the story. Um, I get it now. Okay, I will check that out. I will stop being a punk. and watch the movie for crying out loud. If I could get my hands on it. Jack says Dresden bombing in 1945, 2 nights and a day, Allied bombing leveled the city center. Oh, is that what? That's what that is. And William Blake Hall says correct. I believe Vonnegut himself was there. Ooh. Oh, poor thing. It's really interesting how writers write about their own lives, and the sad things that, all human beings, what we go through during our lifetime. And Ian says it's named that because of one of the characters goes. Brad Pitt starts a movement called the Army of the 12 Monkeys, but it was influenced by Cole Willis, uh, Cole, played by Willis, going back in time, meeting him previously. Interesting, interesting, interesting. And uh, William Blake Hall says, "Love Deja Vu." It's been a long time since I've seen Deja Vu, so I think I'm due for a rewatch soon. And 216 Doctor Strange. Oh, really? They went back in time for 26 and 216? They did? When did they do that? I don't remember um them going back in time. Tell me what briefly, without spoiling everything, when did they go back in time, Brogo? Um I'm gonna shoot I keep saying that I'm gonna write it down, but I think I have to write this down. Um, Doctor Strange. Yeah, I don't remember them going back in time. Sean says, "Hey, all, stuffing my face with some BKOM nom nom." Burger King, right? Okay. Oh, cool. Um, and Unicorn Rampant Studio says, "I'll find you a copy." Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're so sweet to me. Thank you so much. Um, and Jack says, um, 12 Monkeys made Bruce Willis a serious actor. Till then, he was the die-hard guy. Do you think so? I guess so. I guess you could say that. I thought he was pretty good. But in Death Becomes Her, I thought he was really good in Death Becomes Her, but he really did play more of a comedic character. Um, which is very interesting to see those movies and to see him his last movies. Um, just is almost like a completely different person. So yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right about that. I didn't even think about that. Ian says Die Hard. He was the moonlighting guy. Moonlighting, yes. Um, I thought he was so good in Die Hard. I mean that um the character he played was very nuanced and definitely shows you like what kind of actor he is in that movie. Sean Holmes says at the end of Doctor Strange MCU, Steven used the Infinity Time Stone to lock the villain and himself in an endless loop of time. You're so correct. Ah, so true. Oh my gosh, yes. Um, Thank you. Thank you. I didn't remember that. Yes. They don't go back too far in time, but in Doctor Strange, they just do it a bit to rewind at the end. Yes, he uses time as a weapon. And I love that. I love that. I really do. I thought that was very, very clever to write a scene like that. And it was simple. It was very simple. And some of the things uh, that are simple. can be great. And oh, Willis is here. Willis 009. How are you? I just joined with would we be listing 12 monkeys at the start of this list because it starts with a number or putting under the letter T. Uh, these are things to think about. Oh yeah, I thought I let's see. Oh yeah, oh yeah, there it is. It's like right in front of me. Yes, we do have it on there. 12 Monkeys, 1995. Yes. And thank you for asking, well as 009. And Jack says, missed moonlighting. I was uncabled back then. Yeah, moonlighting, it was one that I may have caught like one or two episodes. I definitely knew it existed, but I never really got to be a fan of the show at all. And maybe it wasn't up my alley or something else was on at the same time that I wanted to see more than that show. But it was definitely a grown up kind of a show. And at the time, I was um, still mentally a child. and, and under E, we've got Edge of Tomorrow, that Tom Cruise, interesting time play movie that we all like. A lot of people like this movie. It didn't get a lot of box office draw though, but it was certainly it's definitely a favorite amongst the I guess you could call like people who like science fiction. And under F, we have The Final Countdown 1980, Flight of the Navigator 1986. Oh, okay. Now, Flight of the Navigator, did we say that it was a time um, he's in he's in a stasis and then becomes he's in the future? Is that what happened? He doesn't really do time travel. He's just in stasis, right? So I have to change that. Um, change flight of the nav. Okay. And then we have Free Jack 1992, frequently asked questions about time travel in 2009, frequency in the year 2000, and future 38 in 2007. And I think I saw Future 38 and it was actually kind of good. I think I did. Yeah. Um, uh, let's see. Oh, look. Alex Dawson is here. Hello. Says happy Friday. So good to see you. And Sean Holmes says, just trying to help a fellow online friend, Sean Ennis. The two Seans are here, Sean Ennis and Sean Holmes. So good to see you guys. And in the same stream, Sean Ennis says, moonlighting caught on quick, but shortly after it became popular, Bruce Willis wanted out to do movies, and he and Sybil Shepherd weren't getting along. It ended soon after. Yeah, it was. They didn't have I don't think they had chemistry. I don't think so. Um, but I did like seeing them together. There was a lot of banter between the two of them. But yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea, I don't think. Um, and what else? And Unicorn Rampant Studios says, I wonder how many episodes Time Travel Talk is going to last. Can you make a hard prediction or William Blake Hall? Well, we're on F already. Aren't we doing great? Let's see. All right. Let's see if we can finish it off tonight. I'm gonna try. Okay, well, let's say there's probably gonna be a part three. The final countdown. Yeah, so we went through these already. Any of these look familiar to you guys? Um, does that look right to you? Are there any ones here that you're like, no, that's definitely not a time travel? And under G, we've got Galaxy Quest. They do go back in time for a very short while. Um, and let me see, Galaxy Quest. One of my favorite movies. Um, a very fun movie. Um, I'm just making a note to myself to put the date in for the Galaxy Quest. Gandahar, 1987. Guys, if you haven't seen Gandahar, oh, it's so good. It is animated, and there are many versions out there. There's one that is a French version. Uh, uh, there's one that's a French version, and then there's one that was done in America. Now, I know there's some people will be like, "Oh no, I'm not going to watch it because there's certain people um who put that together, but they didn't create this. This was already a creation that happened in France. And I think the French version, you do have to read the subtitles, but you get a little bit more out of it. There's a slight difference in the performance and also in the language. So I saw both of them. I of course love both of them. They're incredible. And then Ghost in the Shell. That's oh sorry, hit the wrong button. Ghost in the Shell, 1995. Girl Who Leapt Through Time. That looks interesting. I really want to see that one. That's it. That was done in 2006. Time Traveler, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. But this one is 2010, and I'm really curious what is the difference between the two. God Told Me To, 1976. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, which you guys are the ones who told me about, 1991. And Groundhog Day, the one everybody knows, that this incredible movie that was done in 1993. Yeah, so again, Galaxy Quest. Um, uh, these are some ones that I really like: Groundhog Day, Galaxy Quest, and Gandahar. Those are like some of my favorites. I never did see Ghost in the Shell, but it does not have great ratings. Do believe that was John Carpenter, which I was talking about John Carpenter the other day with my good friend uh, uh, Al Necron on his channel, and boy, was it a great conversation. So I would urge anyone to go and check that out. I might put a link later on. Let's see. William Blake Hall says, hard prediction. You kidding me, right? This list is going pretty well. Yeah, there might be a part three. And Shannon says I tried to get work on Free Jack back in the day. Oh, really? To be in that movie, huh? And John Walker says I forgot about that film. Dennis Quaid is great in that film. Which one is it? Frequency. Okay. I'm gonna have to watch that one. I never did see that one. Guys, I'm gonna have to give back my nerd card. And oh look, it's Maddie's daddy. Steve is here. Says hi, beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well, and I hope Maddie is doing well as well. And William Blake Hall says, "Buy Grab Thar's hammer. What a savings!" That's one of my favorite lines, is by Grabthar's hammer. I shall avenge you. And that movie just had so many moments of charm. Just it's a charming movie, is what I can say. None of it is believable. It's not supposed to be, but it is definitely fun. It's fun, just good old fashioned fun, and I loved it. Ian said, Galaxy Quest time travel is shoehorned in, almost like Superman spinning the world backwards. That sort of time travel. Now, I do agree with you on that. You know, uh, I do agree with you on that. Oh, you know who else? I wonder if I put it in here. Um, I hope I put this in here. Um, but yeah, it does have it's used as a plot device. But the entire storyline itself was a plot device after plot device. Like that that whole scene where they're going to they're looking for they're at the core of the ship, and there's like this thing that crunches and smashes things, and Sigourney Weaver's character says, "Who came up with this?" Who just made a room full of smashy things. And I just, that's what the story is full of, contrivances that, a writer would come up with as sort of a last resort to make a silly sci-fi show. And I think that in that context, time travel didn't suck so much in there, um, as sort of like, yes, this is something a cheap like studio would, or a cheap TV show would do, because they wrote themselves into a corner, that kind of thing. Um, and I call it cheap only because, um, they wanted the moment where, we have pandemonium, all your favorite characters die, and then, oh no, but we can reverse that. And it's like, oh man. But in that movie, I think it works because that's uh they use the trope of what they were parodying, or parodying? Parodying. Not to be confused with parademon. Alex Dawson says, it really is John. Yeah, it really, John, for Ghost, I think Ghost in the Shell. Not, is it Ghost in the, no, 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 not Ghost in the Shell. I'm thinking about Ghost on Mars. Sorry. Ghost in Ghost in the Shell. Who did Ghost in the Shell? I don't remember. Time for me to employ the good old uh, Google. Ghost in the Shell. It's probably me subconsciously wanting to mention John Carpenter. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Ghost in the Shell. This is by Mamori Oshii. This is that movie. Oh, or is it? Let me just double check. Yes, this is the animation. Mamori Oshii did that, and yep. Sorry about that, guys. I got it mixed up from Ghost on Mars. Sorry. Sorry. And Jack said the final countdown was made with U.S. Navy's help to promote enlistment. When it tanked, the officer who promoted it tanked also. They struck gold a few years later with Top Gun. Oh, and William Blake Hall says, I think Gandhar has been remarketing as light years. Yes, and in America, it's called light years. I'm not going to go too deep into Gandhar, but it's on my list to review, and I've got the entire script done. I just need to finish yeah, I have to finish some work so I can get to edit, finally record and edit. And Ian says, although I love quest though. Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt that. It's such a funny um movie. Just entertaining and charming all the way around. And nice Galaxy Quest quote, yes. And Unicorn Ram Studio says Superman flying backwards just makes my stomach hurt even as a child. I was so disappointed. Oh, really? Interesting. Because I was like, what is he doing? Um, I also didn't understand why Christopher Reeve. I didn't understand why Superman loved Lois. I was like, why does he love her? Why is he I can understand being upset that she died. There's a lot of people who died, who were dying. Um, but I didn't understand why he loved her. I mean, I know they spent some time together. You know what I mean? I mean, they spent some time together. I was like, why is he like flipping out because she died, you know? And that he would turn the world backwards and do it. I mean, there's nothing real about what he did. First of all, because I think if you tried to do that, the planet would just explode. That's my thought. My idea of what it really would have happened if Superman did that. But yeah, it just I was confused by that moment, but I was okay with that. It was a happy ending. Um, I mean, when you're a kid, you're like 8 years old and you're like, why did the world end? Why did all the characters die? But also, I was trying to figure out why he turned the entire world backwards if he was, I still don't understand it because if he turned the world backwards, then it's still, yes, you see, it's breaking me. Yeah, that moment is definitely one of the weirdest. I totally understand. Groundhog Day is fantastic, but almost not time travel, more failure to ever reach February 3rd. Interesting. Um, so would you call that time looping then, right? So let's put Groundhog Day, time looping, right? And so at that point, yes. And so we'd have to put Doctor Strange in the same category too of time looping. Oh, this is getting really interesting because at the end of this I have this whole like area for just special mentions and playing with time and so on and so forth. Interesting. John Walker says, I love Superman 1978. Christopher Reeve was like the golden Superman. Oh, he was fantastic. I, I didn't look, I'll just put it like this. I've yet to see a Superman movie that I didn't like. I enjoyed all of them because I like Superman. I haven't gotten into any of the TV stuff. Wasn't Didn't watch Lois and Clark. I did not watch Smallville, which I did catch some of Smallville. It was interesting, and but I wasn't like addicted to it or anything. Um, and the Superman and Lois show now that's playing that they're doing now was interesting as well. I've seen a couple episodes, but I like the movies. I have not seen one I didn't like. Even Superman Returns, even Superman 4. I loved it every minute of it because I do love myself some Superman. And Jack says, and John Walker says Golden Age. Yes. And Jack says, you could say Superman 78 started it all. Um, oh, you mean for superhero movies? Because there was definitely Flash Gordon earlier, but and not the 1981. I'm talking about Flash Gordon, the in the 30s. Um, I don't know if there was another one. Some could say that Barbarella was also a comic book movie. Um, and that was done in the 60s. There's another one I'm missing too. I think it's Dick Tracy, but I'm not sure if they. I think there was an adaptation of Dick Tracy in early days. In early days, um, I'm not sure about Dick Tracy, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess when you say that, I think when you're saying that, you're talking about the big blockbuster, and there I would say I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that. That big blockbuster movie, that is a superhero movie. And it seems like people are trying to replicate that all the time. They're trying to get that passion, that flavor back all the time. So I think you're right about that. Um, in terms of like a superhero movie that created a huge cultural shift. Yeah, John Walker agrees. William Blake Hall says the casting of Reed was astounding. Yeah, I mean, he just is such a good actor. In my opinion, I think he's really good. Um, and he just knew how to play Superman. He knew what Superman had to do, and he didn't play him like any of the other actors who came before him to play the role. He did it in his own style, but it was great. Sean Ennis says frequency is good, pretty touching story with between a kid and both his parents, more to but leans more towards the father, Andre Brager, and I forget her name. Really good actress plays the mother. Can't wait to see that. John Walker says yes, William. He was straight out of the comic book pages. Yes, yes. He did his own thing, but it felt right. It felt right the way he portrayed that character. Um, and Alex Dawson, if you watch it closely, you can read her lips. She's saying, "Oh man." And William Blake Hall says, "RNG. I've never uh, seen Frequency either, but I am intrigued by all the testimonials." Yeah, me too. My goodness, that sounds really cool. And Shannon is, yeah, it's really off bad dub. Uh, um, and Shannon is that 1995 Ghost in the Shelf is animated. They did a live action with Scarlett Johansson not long ago. Yes, and so that's what I'm trying to figure out. What part of it was time travel? So. I think she sleeps for a while, right? She goes to sleep and then she wakes up and what, just I get all these movies. It's like sneaking in the time travel thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, it's in there. Like Galaxy Quest, I forgot that there was time travel in there, and I was like, they just snuck it in there. And Ian says, Edge of Tomorrow and Groundhog Day are structurally the same kind of time travel, a jump back loop until an escape condition is true. You're so right. Yes, I have to add Edge of Tomorrow in there on the time looping. All right. Uh, yeah, and Bogu says, yeah, I agree. Why did he love Lois? Yeah, I think that's why, like in Man of Steel, it gives you a reason why he feels close to Lois, because she makes a sacrifice for him, and she was gonna reveal to everyone that he was Superman, and he gives her like a speech, and she's like, okay, she 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 decides to not be a jerk. And so he's like, uh there's a reason why he like feels close to her, because she did something that no one else has done. She knows things about him that no one else knows, and uh you know I get why there's something like growing between them, but I didn't understand why he loved Lois. Um, uh, to the point of change, like possibly blowing up the planet, or whatever. Keithy says, Sean Ennis, if you're here, please mark me present. I've been here, just not talking much. So cute. Uh, and um, and Daryl says, "You can't explain love, it just happens." And that is so adorable. Jack says, "I think because it was in the script and the original Oh, okay. Okay. I get it. And Unicorn Rampant City says the problem with the with comic book movies is that they want to do it all and they end up doing very little. Ouch. The relationship between Lois and Superman developed over decades. Yes. Okay. There was a lot of stuff going on between Lois and Superman. Like I understand him having a crush on her as Clark Kent, and I understand her having a crush on Superman, but I don't see where the two of them actually do come together. Um Realistically, it's like, I mean, if uh, from where they were in the story, her dying was gonna hurt. It's like, but I don't think it was like, it just didn't feel like it was powerful enough of a connection as to why he would like flip out. Um, and I was like, oh no. Especially, I love that scene though, because he he starts yelling and then he spins around and they're like, whoa. I do like seeing Superman flip out though. I just didn't know if it was appropriate for that moment. And I didn't, I was like, it was a cool thing. Like, oh, I didn't know Superman could turn back time like that. Um, and I mean, if he did that, he could do it for everything, right? He could do it for everything. So there would be no death. No one would die because he would just turn back time and make it right. If you have the power to go back in time and change things, if like that should be his out for every single battle he ever faces. So, but that was the only time you ever saw it. So, yeah, I agree. That was a cop out. I did not. I don't really um, think it was written well, but definitely a spectacle to see. When I was a kid, my jaw dropped. I was like, "What? He can do that? What's happening?" I think I looked at my mom like, What is going on?" Uh, and Sean Ennis says, "Keith, you are marked present." Uh, so sweet. I love your inside jokes with each other. It's really funny. And Sean Holmes says, Retro Nerd Girl, is your confusion on the Lois character about the 2006 Superman movie or Christopher Reeve version? Oh, it's about the 1978 movie where he goes back in time and and he like lose she dies in that earthquake, right? Remember, there's like an earthquake because the dam broke. He fixes the dam, but he couldn't hear her when she was calling for him, and then he finally finds her because I guess hears that her heart has stopped beating, and he goes to her, and she's dead. He flips out and spins around on his heels, and then flies off to space and turns back time. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I mean the 2006 one, I didn't mind. I did not mind that movie at all. I thought it was a little slow. I love Brandon Routh. Did I thought at the time that he was doing a Christopher Reeve impersonation the whole time, but on he speaks just like he looks and speaks just like Christopher Reeves. He looks a little different though, but he speaks at least it has a lot of the same cadence. So it was just kind of spooky seeing him do an exact like sort of be the exact replica of him in a strange way. And Daryl Johnson says it was a cool effect, is why. Yeah, it was. I think that's why they were like, "Ooh, wouldn't it be cool to do this?" And that's why it was in the movie. And I love, um, you know, that's one thing I like about superhero movies. They just go for the goofy and the weird and the unusual. And then Unicorn Man from Studio says the comic book titled Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane says it all. Yes. And William Blake Cole says, right, Groundhog Day may be a classic time loop. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the time loop section, which I'm going to create after we're done. And Alex Dawson says it would have been better if in part two, the way it was originally intended, the Donner cut makes it make more sense. I guess you mean sense. Um, Interesting. Yeah. Oh, so you're saying that that scene was supposed to show up in Superman 2. Oh, that would make more sense. They have a relationship by then. Yes. Yes. You're so right. And Shannon says time looping. Oh, by the way, Retro Nerd Girl, do you have Looper on? Yes, I do have Looper. It's like one of the the key time travel movies that's out there. And RNG, I even liked Superman Returns with Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor. William Blake Hall says, yeah, me too. I enjoyed it. I can't say I loved it, but I enjoyed it, and I can appreciate that particular take on Superman and him having a son and all of that. It was very unique, and I was like, huh, this is actually a good study on the character. They just couldn't match it with the action, just wasn't there. They didn't know how to, I don't think they knew how to make a Superman action movie. So, or a superhero action was sorely or poorly performed, if you will. And Brogu says 2020 Palm Springs was another time looping movie like Groundhog Day. Oh, wow. You say 2020 Palm Springs. Okay. Wow. We're getting like sections and I love this topic. Keith A says, I think I'm stuck in a time loop. At least I eat the same thing every day for breakfast. Yeah, you're not the only one. I mean, sometimes every morning I do end up eating the same thing. And Sean Ennis says, well, Jaws and Star Wars really amped up the summer blockbuster releases. Yes, they did. Yes, they really did on 1976 and 1977. Great movies. And Barry On says, Frequency was good. I'm going to have to see Frequency now. And John Orchid, thank you so much. This is wonderful. $10 super chat. Frequency makes sense scientifically as a possibility. Also, the original time machine. That's just my opinion. Oh, wow. That is Yeah, the Time Machine is such a wonderful classic, and it's simple, right? The man gets in a machine, goes back in time, goes forward, and like it's goes forward in time basically. It doesn't go back in time, it goes forward in time, and it works. It really works. Um, and so I'm gonna have to see this Frequency movie, and let's see if I have a cool thank you for you. Oh man, that always makes me dance. Um, and oh wow, w- John Arcot, you did it again. Oh wow. It says radio skips off the atmosphere exists. This is why you can receive radio AM um, late at night from across the country. Oh, oh, that's interesting. That's interest. That is interesting. Oh man. Okay, I have yet another thank you for you. You're so sweet. Thank you so much for that. Let's see which one. How about this one? And Ian is ready for the next the the next slideshow. Okay, let's do the next slideshow. I do have to answer some of the chat. Okay, so I'll read those off in a few moments, but I want to see what other people are saying here. Maddie's daddy says Terry Hatcher's the only Lois I could see falling for. Oh, that is so sweet. Yeah, she is really gorgeous. Back in the day and still is gorgeous. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm a Margot Kidder kind of girl. I really did because I guess she printed on me when I was a kid. So I was like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. And I actually saw her like when I was living in New York. I used to see her at the shop all the time. I never went up to her or anything because poor lady was trying to get her breakfast, but she would get like, toast and bagel or, whatever morning things that she would get. But yeah, she was a nice, she was always nice in person. And uh, I thought she was wonderful. I always thought that she was wonderful. Brogu says that Terry Hatcher was the most attractive Lois Lane, in my humble opinion. Wow. And Unicorn Rapid Studio says, to be honest, like there's only two that I even know of, and that's like Terry and her. And Amy wasn't too bad either, but um, I think I think you're right. Terry Hatcher's had a little something there, but I do like, you know, uh yeah. Unicorn Rampant Studio says, not to belabor, but this is uh to belabor this, but he didn't really just time travel back in time. He took everyone backwards through time. Ooh. You're so right. You're so right. And if people died during that time, they had to live it all back over again. Oh my goodness, you're so right. You're so right. Okay. I may need to consult you when I'm writing my next story. I mean, dang, the details, right? It's the details. It's the details. Oh my gosh. John Walker says Jor-El warns him earlier in the film not to interfere with human history, but Superman has to save his true love. And I'm like, that's cool, but I mean, at that point, uh, you know, I didn't see the relevance of her being his true love. You know what I mean? Even though we know that they're supposed to be together, um, and we expect them to be together. It just at that point in the story, it just didn't feel like they had like a date, and there's some flirting, and but nothing really concrete until the second movie. And Gordon Ramsay student, that is insane. Last minute addition. Yeah. Um, and Maddie said, he says, Brandon Routh is the only actor who ever successfully pulled off a believable dual identities. Oh, really? As much as I love the other guys, they all look exactly the same as Superman and Clark Kent. Well, that's the ongoing joke, right? But yeah, I'm gonna have to see that again because I did not um, pay attention to that. There was a lot of new things about Superman that I learned in that movie, and I kind of was like, "Oh, this is interesting." There were I loved it as a character study, and it was a lot slower than any of the other previous movies. It was very understated. There were very few special effects really that I could notice, like big set pieces. Um, except for when you got to the end, and that was really kind of awkward. Awkward is the word I would say, but yeah, there's something going on in Brandon's performance that I enjoyed. I enjoyed it a lot. I really did. Um, and Sean Innes says, my attraction to Terry Hatcher peaked 2 days in the Valley, but disappeared in Heaven's Prisoners with Baldwin. I also heard she pretends she was never in Star Trek The Next Generation, named for Ashley Judd. Same for Ashley Judd. Oh, okay. She's ashamed of her time in Star Wars, huh? And Maddie's daddy says, I hated the idea of someone else raising Superman's child. Yeah, I'm like, what? That was kind of the weird thing. Um, but and I thought he was gonna be able to do it. Like I think that's the reason why the film didn't do so well, is because he loses Lois completely, and I think a lot of people were expecting them to get back together. Uh, and them to have a happy family, and it didn't end that way, and I think that hurt the film. I think that hurt the film. And John Holmes says, Retro Nerd Girl, do you think that Brandon's 2006 live action movie of Superman should have included Supergirl after he journeyed to planet Krypton? That could have helped the movie. Well, I don't see why not. We could have introduced a whole bunch of characters to help him along, just to spice up the movie a little bit, to give it a little bit more action. But yeah, it, I don't know. Uh, there were quite a few things that were missing from that movie, including action, and just like the pacing may have been just a smidge too slow for a superhero movie. And the Daily Beast says, greetings from South Carolina. Yes, good to see you. Uh, hope you are doing well. Greetings from the International Science Fiction Station. Just having a good time talking about movies and time travel, and now we're talking about Superman and his uh, small stint of time travel. Um, and we've got and then I've got um, John Orchid says, "Thank you." Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for all of the wonderful super chats that you've donated tonight. Again, you've done another one. Science. Thank you so much. You are just wonderful. I have to play another thank you for you. Let's see if we have oh, absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. You're just wonderful to me. And Sean Ennis as well. Thank you. The dollars to see frequency with. Okay, I'm putting that right in the the cookie jar for me to get frequency. Thank you, Sean Ennis. You're incredible. Um, see. And I do have a thank you for you as well. Let's see which one. Oh, wow. And Barry on says, Sincere G ended with Groundhog Day. Maybe what comes after G is G. And Brogu says, I am stuck in a time loop if I watch these awesome live videos featuring the amazing retro nerd girl every Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturday. Unlike other time loops, I hope this one never ends. Oh, you're so sweet, Brogu. That is really sweet. And thank you so much, Brogu. Yeah, I do enjoy myself quite a bit on during the live streams. So I'm right there with you. I hope it never ends. And Shannon, it says, and Wo- Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane. Any fans? I thought she was decent. I thought she was decent. She was a little different than I had imagined. Um, uh, Lois Lane, I really wanted somebody to be a little bit more spunkier. Um, and I was looking for that spunky brunette uh, that that doesn't mind, like she can tell you off, but she's gorgeous and she's still classy, smart as can be, smart as a whip. And I don't think she really pulled that off. Um, but she did play a good mom that was dealing with the loss of so, her boyfriend went away and came back, and she did play that part very well, as far as like the hurt girlfriend whose boyfriend went away and has come back. So I do think that she did what she could with the part. I just think it may have come down to the writing, writing her character just the right perfect way. Um, they didn't quite land the plane on that one. And Maddie's daddy says it wasn't just Terry Hatcher's looks. She had a lot of charisma, yes, and she eventually stopped trying to steal Clark's stories, uh, which most of the others never did. Oh, interesting, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really going to be at the heart of like trying to figure out any writers who are writing Superman is like, how do you get these two characters to actually like not make it about like you're hot, I'm hot, and let's get together, but more like there's there are deeper layers to these characters. And it's really cool to see Lois kind of fall in love with the Clark character instead of the Superman character, because Clark is sort of like, I wouldn't say that's who he is, because Superman is who he is and Clark is the disguise. Um and so it's kind of like it'd be nice for her to see through that and like kind of dig into their relationship that way. So yeah, I can see why also that show was very loved by a lot of people. And didn't have wasn't like a huge budget or and Unicorn Rampant City says, I was very warped as a child. I still, I am still. But no, you thought about that, that he was going back in time, but everybody else were going back in time too. And that means like everybody else were reliving their loss of a loved one, or they were reliving their own deaths possibly, like, and the thing is that the other piece to it is that they never explained why he still has his memories of the past. I guess because he was the one who's doing it, and everybody else seemed to not have those memories. I would think that they would still have their memories, since he did a physical thing, like you said. He did a physical thing and turned the entire world back. So everybody went back in time. So yeah, uh, that is a very interesting question. Very interesting question. That requires its own stream, I think. We need to do a full deep dive on like what did Superman do? John Walker says Erica Durance in the season 9 and 10 of Smallville was the most accurate interpretation of Lois Lane. Oh, really? I did not see it, so I can't comment. But I think one of the reasons why I didn't comment is I didn't think she looked like Lois Lane, but I could and maybe give her a second chance. And let's see. I mean, sometimes that's like that's the thing. Like even Amy, um, I didn't think she looked like Lois, but she won me over in the movie. I was like, oh, this is why she had to play Lois. This relationship here is the reason why, and it made sense to me once saw it. So I need to see Erica Durance's performance so I can accurately understand what you're saying there. William Blake Hall says if one person alters the world, the whole world flow of time, isn't that time jacking? Time jacking. I don't know. Is time okay, so tell me, William, is there another movie that does that? That does the time jacking? Um, because yeah, then I think I'll make a if there's another movie that does a time jacking, as you call it, then I should make a section for that. Um, I'll leave it to you to come up with it. Ian says, "Oh, quick question to anyone, including RNG. Have you ever heard of John Titter?" Nope, I have not heard of John. And Shannon it says, "Me too, very warped. I was explaining to someone the other day a film that I saw in the theater as a kid called Silent Partner. It's very twisted film noir with Christopher Plummer. Ooh, that sounds interesting." Uh, uh, and oh, Botanical Brother is here. It says greetings, RNG and all. I know that music is not the subject now, but Time Passages by Al Stewart was is a great contemporary based song. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I have I heard of that? I may have heard of it. Um, Maddie's daddy says, I wouldn't put too much stock in what people say. Yeah, and well, you know what too? Um, I would consider myself a weird kid as well, like a strange puppy, as I would say. I was definitely a strange puppy. I love dragons and all kinds of weird stuff. I told you I saw Clockwork Orange when it came out, and I had no problems with that movie. I have some problems with it now because I'm more sensitive to those things because I don't know, something happens when you grow up a little bit. But when I was a kid, I knew it was a movie. I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, there are only like a few movies that would freak me out. Um, and William Blake Hall says 2 days in the Valley. Terry Hatcher gets into a fight with Charlize Theron. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm losing ground here. All right, I'm like 10 minutes behind. Jack says tomorrow's movie Ice Pirate uses time acceleration during the film's final action scene. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It speeds things up. And Unicorn Rapids is so too many grown up films as a child. Yeah, me too. I did. But I didn't I say I for some reason I knew that they were uh I knew they were they were I knew what that they weren't real. I understood that they were movies, but I also was like, I just saw them as entertaining. I didn't think that they were I mean, I saw some messed up stuff. The unapologetic geek is here. Whew, you're getting very thorough. Yes, we are. We had conversations earlier about all sorts of things. We haven't even started with time travel ethics yet. Even yeah, that's like a whole nother subject matter. But we went into the actual possibilities of maybe time travel existing and what that would look like. And Sean Ennis and Maddie Zeddy says, is speaking to Maddie Zeddy and says, I'm okay with it. Just saying, uh, seeing the movie like Silent Partner was probably not the best thing for a kid. There's a lot of graphic, gory content. Now, Silent Partner, I did not see. So maybe I'm missing out on all of the, I didn't quite get traumatized by yet another movie. Um, And Jack says has a great 2 days has a great soundtrack. And Maddie says, I don't think the Supergirl character would have played in that movie. They were trying to make him feel like an outsider, someone who is truly alone in the world. That was the big theme, right? That was the true last son of Krypton. Yeah, that was the theme in the movie, and I think and it was like very somber. Again, I would call it a character study, and it was good, but I think it may have been one of the case they ran out of time or they ran out of like it may have gone a little bit too long of a movie to figure out what it was doing with the rest of the characters. Like Superman was awesome, the development there, but I think all of the other elements just fell apart in that movie hard. But again, I enjoyed it, especially Superman, his whole story, and just like you said here, um, that loneliness he was experiencing. And then the one scene that I really enjoyed was him being hovering above Earth and listening to all of the sounds of all of the people that needed help and that overwhelming feeling of like where do you start when everybody needs help. um and so yeah, it was really um I would say sympathetic to his character a little bit more than maybe other movies had ever gone that deep on. So yeah, I did like it as a character study, definitely. And Jean it says, and in the fight between Terry Hatcher and Charlize Theron, put the latter on the map back in the then in 2 days in the valley. Good role for Spader as well. Oh, really? And Unapologetic Geek says, if you're the only, if you're only on H, it's gonna be a while till you get to my favorite, which starts with an S. Oh Lord, so sorry. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do a part three, which is um yes, we may have to do a part three. But yes, thank you for for noticing. Let's see. And Anava Bosworth is just way too young for a world-weary mother who got a Pulitzer uh, years ago. I think you're right. I think she was so beautiful though, very cute, adorable. But there was, and she did play the again that that hurt woman that that really was sort of in a sticky place when Superman went away. And when he went away, she just she had to rebuild her life, and now he's back. So it was really kind of um she did that well, but you're right. She was too young. I needed somebody with a little who could pull off older but looked younger. Her looks was fine, but I think someone who could have pulled off an older character a little bit better. Uh, and yeah, uh, that's probably I think a miscast in my judgment, but she did the best she could. I think she did the best she could with what was also written. What was also written. I mean, um, and oh, Danny Staten is here. Hello, and says another like yes because you are the Daily Beast as well. So we figured it out. We figured it out. And said I knew I had a mod on one of my phones. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Um, and Integrity says, Superman talk, cool. I love me some soups. Margot Kidder, yes, she's a wonderful. Amy Adams, Terry Hatcher with all great, but Margot is my favorite, especially under Donner's direction. Yeah, I think he nailed, I mean, Terry, I don't know, like from what Maddie Daddy was saying, it sounds like they wrote something really special for Terry. Um, but from where yeah, I guess my point of view, Margot is like she was mwah, perfect. She had that like raspy voice, like she had been like screaming to the top of her lungs, probably smoking, uh, just like a person who has lived, right? Because that's Lois. Um, she's definitely isn't from Kansas, right? She is somebody who um, has lived a lot. And so I kind of love that about Margot. And um, again, like Margot had incredible bone structure. Let's just put that on the table. She was beautiful. Okay. And so I think she was gorgeous. And so that is kind of where I see like when I think of uh, Lois in my mind, other than the lady that was drawn in the in the 30s and the 40s with the old hairstyle and everything. I think of Lois as Margot Kidder. Just maybe it's just my love of seeing her in the movies when I was a kid, but she just hits the notes, all those notes for me. um, and Oh, and Danny Staten leaves a link for anyone who is interested in going over to the Unapologetic Geek to see his wonderful channel. It is a retro channel just like this. So if you would like to, uh, s- uh, you know, uh, check out another retro channel, there you go. Uh, and he does everything. So like he has great conversations about retro stuff. Botanical Brother says, he was, but he was Clark Kent before he was Superman. Uh, let's see. Oh, you mean, uh, Kal-El. Yes, I see what you're saying. He was Clark Kent when he was living with his, but it depends on who you are and what you think, because you're bringing up a great point. He, in my thoughts of Superman, oh my God, how did we get from time travel to just talking about Superman? Okay, in my thoughts, the minute that Clark Kent realized that he was not human, that he was Kal-El, that was the minute he became Kal-El in my thought process. I could be wrong about that, but that's how I interpreted it. Because now he has powers, right? As Clark Kent, he has powers he's hiding because he's pretending to be normal like everyone else. But the true being of him is Superman because he is not like anybody else. Um he has incredible power and he has to use it responsibly. And that in itself is another mind uh task of his, that something that he has to keep under control. And so but hopefully his teachings from his family in Kansas is giving him that humanity, not only that, but also the morals. Because being human doesn't give you the morals, it's being brought up by his family. So that's just, we went on a little rant there. Sorry, we went into we're talking about Superman now. I did not need to read. Maddie said, he says, then Lois and Clark, he said, Superman is just what I can do. Clark is who I am. Interesting. See, they change. They did it differently. I get like it depends on who you are and how you think of the character because uh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Um, and Unapologist says, greetings, Danny. Thanks as always. And Sean Ennis says, Jack says, I was just looking up the soundtrack to for the 2 days in the Valley. You're right. Otis Redding, Willie Dixon, Lyle Lovett, Taj Mahal, Morris Day, Wilson Pickett, and Junior Wells. All right. Okay, I'm gonna kind of zoom down. We haven't even gotten to. I did, and I haven't even gotten to H. Really, we haven't even talked about H yet. Sean Holmes says I had a hard time enjoying episodes of Smallville after season 2, with their repeating soap opera narratives. Interesting, yes. And Alex Dawson says Millennium. Yes, of course, that's on there. And William Blake called RNG. I was just thinking hijacking, carjacking, skyjacking. Why not time jacket? Hey, you hijack time. Interesting. So, I mean, wouldn't that be? I mean, so okay, I'm trying to think of movies with that theme though. And I'm trying to like, cause we got Superman as the first hijacking. Is there another hijack, time hijack? So yeah, is there another time, another movie with Superman, right? Time jacking. Okay. Hey, you hijack time. Integrity says, I wish people would stop getting so upset by Chris Reeve reversing the Earth in 1978 when we constantly see superheroes undoing endings in modern films. Flash, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Justice League, uh, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, I mean, well, I think the issue is like for a second to see if those how those things would, it's just a fun thought, integrity. It's not really like, it's just like seeing that happen, like what would that actually mean if it played out in real life? Just like people were getting upset at like entire cities being destroyed in like Avengers or in Man of Steel. It's like it's not really, I don't think it's really like people being upset as much as like it's very like something to think about. something to think about. For me, like him doing that uh, is definitely was exciting to see, but the actual like when I was small, I was still trying to figure out like why did he love. That was my first thing. Is like why did he love her so much? Like, I was trying to think I was weird as a kid. I was a weird kid. But that wasn't the reason why, anybody else had an issue with it. It was more like, um, what did it mean to, like, undo the entire time thing, and people had to live through that. And that's another question about, the Justice League, ending. It was so good, when The Flash did that. Did everybody experience it, or is it a distant memory that they didn't remember it, but he does. So that's interesting to me. I like doing these like question. Let's question everything. Sean Holmes says, "Retro Nerd Girl, do you remember the TV action series Superboy?" No, I don't. I remember hearing about it, but I never did see it. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, "Well, I can tell you as an 8-year-old who saw what happened, it was pretty horrible. But if you weren't there, it makes more sense not to be as upset." Yeah, I mean, I think I was 8 years old too when I saw it. And I was like, "What?" First of all, I was like, "Why doesn't he use that like for everything?" That was my thing. I was like, "You gotta use that for every single thing." Um, But, let's see. Alright, I'm trying to hurry up and, I'm, uh you guys are just I'm yes, I am, but, Maddie does, she comes out of the sun in a silk dress, running like a watercolor in the rain. Oh, what am I missing? Oh, I must be missing something. I don't see, what that's into. But, I don't see what that's in reference to. And my auxiliary computer is not cooperating with me right now. It's like, yeah, and okay. So let me try to. I'm sorry if I missed any of your questions or comments. I'm gonna have to zoom a little bit forward because I don't want to um, uh, lose track of everything. Jenny's saying, I was 11. My parents took me to see The Exorcist. Well, there you go. Yes, I saw The Exorcist in the theaters. I was totally fine. Totally, I enjoyed it. Are you kidding me? I was like, wow, that girl had her. I was a crazy little kid. Brogo's question: if you went back or forward in time, do you think both of yourselves would exist at the same time? Could you interact or touch yourself without anything bad happening? Oh, okay. So let me try to imagine it. I walk out the door and I go into the future and I come back and I'm still sitting here doing this. Um, uh, I don't know. Could you interact with yourself? Technically, if your cell structure is completely intact, yes, you can interact with yourself. I think so. I think you can. It will be strange, but you can. If time travel exists and you can you would have cellular integrity, absolutely. I don't see why not. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, yes, The Exorcist as a child was pretty crazy. Yes, it was insane. I I did I can I liked it more when I was a kid than I do now, but I liked it. I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." The ending was freaky though. The ending was freaky when like I was good all the way up until the end when the priest died and the way he dies. We won't say it in the chat. The way he dies, it was that freaked me out. Like everything else was fine. Everything else was fine, but the way the priest died at the end uh was just that was the scary part. And Sean Ennis says, I recommend Silent Partner to you if to you all, but if you do see it, you'll know why I say it's graphic. It's very, very adult. Christopher Plummer will give you nightmares. Wow. Okay. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, if I saw if I saw me from another time, I would immediately try to strangle myself. Why? Why would you do that? Trying to steal my own time. Oh man. Well, definitely you don't wanna show yourself you don't wanna reveal yourself in the future if you get to travel back in time then. That's a word to yourself. Um, and is there song lyrics? Um, oh, song lyrics. Okay, now it's making sense to me. I was like, oh, what's that in reference to? Got it. um, and Unapologetic Geek says, I know about John Titor, I think it's Titor or Titor. And Integrity says, there's a Superman Returns fan edit that moved the airplane rescue to the finale. It worked surprisingly well. I forget what it's called, but it's Superman Returns fans should definitely check out. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, that movie needed some editing, special editing. Oh, look who's here, El Necron. Hi, Retro. Prepping for the witching hour tonight. Been listening in. Oh, so cool. Yes, everybody. El Necron has a wonderful show that he has on his channel that is called The Witching Hour. Plays some really cool death metal. Uh, and it's really exciting and fun. I like to relax to it. I like to uh, and oh gosh, if you guys get a chance to go over to El Necron's channel to see this incredible um incredible coverage that we did or deep dive we did on John Carpenter and his movies. It was really good. It was so good. Uh, El Necron, if you're still here, I don't know if you want to leave a link to that. Let me see. Maybe I can give you the link really quickly. Let me see if I can do that. I'll give you guys the link because it's really good. I was meaning to post something on wow, let's go back. Yes, here it is. Copy link address. Yeah, I was meaning to post something on Twitter. Sorry, my brain is like, yeah, I was gonna post something on Twitter, but I had a lot going on. So, John Carpenter. All right. So I'll just threw that in there for you guys. For anybody who wants to watch later on. There it is. And Shanna is okay. Let's see. Keith E says, time to mention hitting the thumbs up button. Yes, if you're liking the content so far, please do hit the like button. And Botanical Brothers says, Terry Hatcher was great in 007 Tomorrow Never Dies. Absolutely great movie. Loved it. And Thomas says to Maddie Sadie, do you think it would have made more sense to use Supergirl and Superman Returns as the one thing he found on Krypton rather than making his space journey a waste? Ooh, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to your answer. It says, that's very interesting idea. They would have had to have gone in a very different direction, but it's a cool idea. Mm. Oh, I was also going to ask you guys, do you think it's right? Like, I think I know that there's a lot of different views on who Clark and Superman is. Like, what do you guys think? Like, do you think he's Clark? I mean, it's now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I guess so. Some things never change, right? Like when you were like Unicorn Rampant Studio and I were talking about when we were kids and the things that we saw, and and some of the things that happen when you're like little, they never kind of go away. They kind of stamp into your personality. You do change over time. So, do you think that um, Kal-El really identifies as Clark more than anything else? That's an interesting concept. I never thought about that. I just thought that he was always Superman, and and uh, and being Clark Kent is him pretending that he's like everybody else, where he's depowered and he's weak and oh I would never fight with anybody, and but when he turns into Superman he's like it's totally different. Or maybe neither one, he's just Kal-El, this person who has to play both characters in order to exist in this like strange world where he's an outsider, but he's there to protect. Uh, uh, I don't know. This is a deep conversation, guys. You got me thinking. You got me thinking. And Sean says uh, if Supergirl was used in Superman Returns, it would have matched the cartoon's 90s version. Interesting, interesting. And an unapologetic geek says Hatcher was more believable Bond girl than Denise Richards, at least. Well, uh, I don't like pitting two actresses against each other like that, but I see what you're saying. And she did have a strong performance in that film, and I was always wanting her to actually like have a bigger role in it, but we all know the tragedy of that character. Ian says in 2000, in an internet forum, time traveler John Titter posted, "Greetings, I am a time traveler from the year 2036. I am on my way home after getting an IBM 51,000 computer system from the year 1975. Interesting, interesting. Integrity says, do you like old chorus reef soup? Uh, I guess that must be that must be Siri again. Maddie's daddy says he was Superman when he was on the rocket as a baby. Yeah, you're right, right? He was Superman as a rocket as a baby. I mean, this is really juicy. I love these questions. Who is Superman? Is he really Superman, or is he Kal-El, or is he as the concept of being a little bit of both? Um, because like see, I mean, like I was saying before, when he discovers that he's he's an alien, he gets the power, he understands his powers and what he's doing on Earth. Like now he has this new like mission, this new like awareness of who he is as a person, and he has to like mentally respond to what he now knows, and so that can't be Clark anymore. Do you think? Yeah. Good questions. These are just anyway. We've lost track of the time travel here. Chris, you meant Chris Reeves. Okay. Sean Holmes says, "What are old Chris Reeves films?" Um, Sean, and it says, "The unapologetic agreed about Denise Richards. She was just wrong for that genre somehow. Denise had her moments, but I would have cast her in a Bond movie as well. Yeah, I mean, I think with Bond, especially it being in the 80s, they were really looking for a young actress, and she fulfilled the part. And they've done that for, ages now. There's no, you don't need a thespian to be a Bond girl. But every once in a while they strike gold, and there's just this one person with an incredible performance. And so, yeah, Botanical Brother says Kal-El is not Superman either. Kal-El is a citizen of Krypton. Okay. Like I love it. Like everyone like has like definitive definitions of who they are. Um, Superman, Clark, and Kal-El. Um, and Jean says, "What someone went on a rant on your channel, Retro Nerd Girl? I think most of us here have lived for a good rant." Hee hee. Yeah, I mean, no, I mean me going off on a tangent with this is just really kind of funny. Brogu says, "I believe that he was always Clark Kent. Even as Superman, he had the Clark Kent demeanor. There are so many people today that if they had the powers of Superman, they would do much evil." Ooh, good. I mean, these are great points. I can't wait till we start talking about Superman. And Shannon is just trying so hard to like bring it back to time travel. The Days Valley is not even a time travel movie. It's not. Oh my God! Look how I thread jacked this whole thing. Sorry about that. It's not a time travel movie. I was about to write it down on my list. And Unicorn Rampage Studio says Donnie Darko. And William Blake calls this a TV show 7 days without constant time jacking, taking the whole world back 7 days, but under the control of a secret government project. Interesting. Sean Ennis says, "Gotta go pick up the puppies again. Uh, gotta go pick up puppies again. Best wishes, Retro Nerd Girl. Getting to the end of the list today. I'll be listening to the car. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that far, but I did want to read um, William Blake Hall's message to me, and I don't know if we'll have time. Oh my God, it is getting to be a long thing. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, "Have fun, Sean." And us, yes, have fun with the puppies. And Maddie say, Sean Holmes says, Superman reported finding nothing. However, if Superman pointed to the sky at Supergirl while facing Lois, she might have not have been consistently grumpy. Mm. And this is Tojo is here. How are you? This is Tojo. Says Retro Nerd Girl. And Botanical Brother says, along the stream of time, nothing is ever exactly the same twice. Thus, you're not interacting with the same version of yourself. Interesting. Really? Because, I always thought like, oh, those questions when they ask you, would you go, if you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself? And I'd be like, I couldn't, I don't think there would be anything I could tell myself because I remember when I was younger, I definitely was like, nobody could tell me anything. I was like, yeah, thanks for telling me that because yeah, just didn't pay attention to people, their warnings or anything. I was just going to do my own thing. And Sean Holmes says, Transformers like live action movie 2023 had time travel in it. Oh, really? It did. All right, well, we'll put that down. You mean the one that's out in theaters now? And Maddie says that's very interesting idea, Sean. And Botanical Brother says, thank you very much, Enemy Eyes RNG, for reading us our chats. You're super amazing. Oh, thank you. I am just I'm loving your conversation. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says he was raised human. And so, yeah, I mean, if like, okay, so that's he was raised human, but like, imagine if right now someone came to you and said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're actually an alien, and it, gives you like a complete rundown of like um that really you're not really human. So that kind of like wouldn't that mess with your mind a little? Like, who I I'm not human, but you always knew, right? You always knew that you weren't human. And so like he would always know that something was different about him. Um, so I don't know. It's very interesting because no human has his powers. And most humans that would have his powers would use it to hurt other people or control other people or benefit from the world, um, would use it for what we would call and consider evil. Wouldn't use it for morally pleasing um, reasons. In fact, people do that now. They don't have superpowers. So I don't know. It's like a weird thing. Like, what is that influence? Like, I think maybe what it is that I am lacking the understanding that his upbringing is going to stop him from is changing him that much. I mean, I know that it has a big effect on him, but how much? Um, even with all of this other stuff coming in, like learning about the fact that his real mother and his real father is from another planet. He has powers that are ridiculously different than anyone else. He can see through things. He can use his laser vision to set something on fire, destroy it. Um, he's indestructible almost. And so I don't know if that would change him. Really, it's so fascinating. Okay, Castellar says, "Time after time with David Warner." Apps, that's on the list. That's on my list. And Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yes, we said that we did that a little bit earlier. We went through the list, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and all the other movies that they did are on the list. And John Walker says, Clark Kent on the farm and the main on the and the man in the suit is his true self. The Clark in the Daily Planet is his disguise. That's what I always thought, John Walker. I always thought that. I don't think I don't think I'm correct, as like, oh, what I say is law about it. I'm just willing to understand the psychological aspects of what is going on with that character. I think it's fascinating. Skywalker, the Jedi, is here. Says, smash the like button for this incredible content creator. Ah, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Yes, and oh, there's a rose and oh, no, it's 100% and these signs. Yes, thank you so much. And Casella says Planet of the Apes, the original. Oh yes, and that is I'm trying to figure out where to put that one. I think it's the one where you kind of sleep through time. I have a special place for it. A special lift, a special list just for people who sleep through time. And Botanica Brothers says super baby, lol. And Ian says technically we're still on G because we haven't touched any of the H from this. Yes, we didn't read them off, and I will right now as soon as I can. Oh no, I just went down and it's like okay. There's so much more. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to skip some of the things here. Unicorn Rapids City, we're stuck in a loop where we keep traveling back to the same movie theater at night. 78, but we're all in different theaters. Yes, you're so right. You're so right. And seeing totally different things. Okay. Stellar definitely wants to um contribute to all of we'll go down the list of all of his movies. Somewhere in Time, that's on the list. Time travel quantum leap. Well, that is a TV show. We're only doing movies. We're doing TV movies as well. The Butterfly Effect, we said that already. Free Jack, we said that already. Millennium Film, we haven't gotten to that, but it's on the list. Back to the Future, we've got that already. 12 Monkeys, we got that already. Time After Time, yes, we have that already. Uh, Dead of Night, film story had time travel with the guy fixing the Playboy car. Interesting. I don't have that one. You named one that we didn't have, and you said it's Dead of Night. Do you have a date for me? That would be great so I can add it to the list. And Unicorn Rapids Studio RNG, I have voices telling me much crazier stuff than you're not human. Yes, I have always known it. Wink. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. I hear you. Since I was born, okay, Broku is bringing his upbringing had a lot to do with the person that he became. Remember, as a boy, he told his father he could play football and get a touchdown every time. Uh, his father steered him in the right way. Um, okay, because it is uh yeah. I mean, his father really helped him um along the way. Pa Kent, right? Really had was teaching him morals. Not saying that those morals uh, can help, but I think everybody knows morals, right? Or at one point we've been taught morals. It's up to the individual to grasp onto them or throw them away. There's a lot of people who throw away morals. They know they've been taught differently, for sure. And I've done it myself, like something that I was taught morally not to do this thing, and I did it anyway. Just because. And so there is like within human beings this like, oh, those are the rules, but also there's also like defying those rules. So my question is, what makes Superman obey his father and not do his own thing? Like what hold there's got to be like, and maybe someone in the future will be able to to write a story that conveys that. And I think Man of Steel did a good job of making it a little bit complex and like showing you um like his father was trying to steer him in the right direction, uh and then there was life to be lived, you know, and he had to live a little. I mean, we could take this back to like Conan the Barbarian, where his father says, "Don't trust anything except for this weapon," and Conan proves that the weapon was not trustworthy. It broke. All right, it is fallible, and at the end of the day, it was his friends and it was love that saved him. So it's weird. It's like there sometimes you're not sure, like you're getting this information from someone. Is it the right stuff or not? And sometimes you got to play around to find out. Oh, I guess mom and dad were, they were right about this. Just saying, I could be wrong. Just playing with ideas, guys. I love talking about this stuff because we're just having fun, aren't we? I am. I don't know about anybody else. I hope I'm not upsetting anybody by saying anything contrarian or anything, but I definitely do love talking about characters and people, that characters in that are playing human beings. And even though Clark Kent is not technically a human being, he's a human being up here. And Maddie's daddy says, I think that Superman is the disguise. Ooh, otherwise there would be no reason for Clark Kent. He would just stay Superman all the time. Ooh, nice explanation. I never had anybody to explain that to me. And that is like really cool. No one wants to have to be on call every second of every day. Wow. So being Clark Kent means he can turn off Superman and just chill for a while. And that's cool. I know, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that. Because ultimately he is conditioned to be human, right? And Costello Garcia says time travel, Army of Darkness. Yes, that is on the list. And Unicorn says, haha. And uh, Maddie's Daddy says, somewhere in time. Yes, we have that one. And Costellar says, Dead of Night, 1977. Okay, 1977. All right, I'm going to try to. He thinks so. Sean Holmes says, before actor David Carradine died, he said while movie acting, Clark Kent is a fake person, plus Superman's view of humanity, and oh, plus he is Superman's view of humanity, and he said uh, Superman is Kal-El's true persona, with without a uniform. Interesting. That's fascinating. I'm sorry. I just had to let that sink in. That's like two different views, and they both work. They both sound valid to me. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I love this. Jack says, great live stream, RNG. I have to roll. Be back tomorrow for Ice Pirates. Watch 12 Monkeys soon. How soon? Real soon. Okay. All right. Costellar with more stuff says, Waxwork 2, Lost in Time. I'm not sure if that one's on the list. We'll have to try to add that. If it isn't, of course, Time Cop, yes. Uh, uh, Dungeon Master and different timelines. Are the movies in different timelines, or do they actually travel to different timelines? Um, and William Blake Hall says the citation is in the citation is the house in the square 1951 film, not TV. Also went by the title "I'll Never Forget You." Ooh, okay. Oh my God, I think finally caught up. Botanica Brothers says Buzz Lightyear movie has time travel. Excellent. Yes, it does, doesn't it? And my science project was a time warp. Okay, I think it's on the list. If it's not, I'll make sure it's added. And travel in different timelines through magic for my science project. Okay, yes, that sounds great. Um, Great. Okay, I got up to the chat finally. Now I can just say, I'm going to say the H's and then I'm going to actually close out this because I didn't expect for it to be such a monster. So we were going to start talking about Superman and lose complete track of everything. And I will have to save William Blake Hall's awesome message until next week because I think 3 hours is way was really going for it. So for the H's, we have Happy Accidents 2000s, Happy Death Day 2017 and 2019, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban 2004. The History of Time Travel, 2014. The House That Ended, uh, the House at the End of Time, 2013. A House in the Square, was a TV movie in 1949. Hot Tub Time Machine, 2010. Hot Time Machine 2, 2015, and the Hudsucker Proxy in 1994. And as a refresher to everybody here, all of the things that are in red are things that you guys have suggested to me. All the people in the chat who have been hanging out with me for these live streams about time travel uh, have really gone into detail there to help fill out this list. And yeah, just great. You guys are so great. I really am. Um, Maybe um, maybe I can really, really um, let's see. John Walker says, oh, Superman RNG edition. I know, right? I don't know. This Superman talk was really epic. I feel bad. We should have had our own stream just about Superman. And maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that one day. Beastmaster 2. Oh yes, yes, yes. Is that the one Iabraxis or I think. Okay. I think Phantasm 4 is definitely in there. Um, and oh, I was trying to correct the citation you already have up. Oh, okay. And Brogu says, I enjoyed this time travel Superman episode. I know, like I'm gonna have to put that in the brackets where we went off the rails, guys. We went off the rails. Where we went, there were no roads. Oh my goodness. And Maddie's daddy says, I came late. Did y'all say Avengers Endgame? Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. It sure does have some time travel in it. And Sean Holmes says, Retro Nerd Girl, do you agree with Robert Burnett when he said that Justice League versus Suicide could never happen in live action movie because people view Superman as a Bible character? Um, I don't know. I mean, s- the Justice League would, I mean, if they did not like utterly destroy the Suicide Squad, it would be mostly because it's not a fair fight. And yeah, I don't know any character that can go head to head with Superman. Um, and he could just look at everybody and kill them all with one glance. You know what I mean? That's not a fight. And so to make a movie about a slaughter basically is just kind of I don't know if it's boring. So yeah, I could see what he means by that. It's not really a fight. Suicide Squad's members are just human, and they don't have any special powers. There's a couple people who are like you would call like sort of humans or meta humans or humans with a little extra, but there's nobody who's gonna have those superpowers like Superman, and definitely not Wonder Woman's powers alone would be too much for the Suicide Squad. So they would have to trick these guys would have to trick the Justice League, is what probably they would have to be a psychological game, and that could be fun, a psychological thriller. But it may not work if, as soon you'd have to keep them, you would have to do it just right because, otherwise it would be a bloodbath. It would just be a bloodbath. And also the Suicide Squad, it looks like what they were trying to do was make them sort of the good guys. So I don't know how they would be, um, versus, right, in a versus situation. So, Costello says about time, which we have. And William Hall says, we went off the rails, yet Superman can double as a rail. Yes, he, yes, he can. And Costello says, oh, John Walker likes that joke. And Costello says, time travel with Brainiac. Oh, Brainiac. See, we need Brainiac. I don't know why he hasn't been inserted in any kind of film yet. Um, and Flashpoint, Flash film. If you're, yeah, the Flash film right now, yeah, I guess I could add that to the list as one of the time travel movies. We were, and oh, you meant animated. Okay. Do you know what year that was? Um, for me, and I can put that. Um, and Maddie says, nice Superman movie reference. And Marvel versus DC Hulk fought Superman. I don't. Well, you know what? The Hulk is kind of a weird character, right? He gets like weird powers sometimes. You just think he's just a guy that is super strong, but he's not. There's some extra layers to his abilities. Um, so guys, I think I'm gonna end it here. I don't want to. Maybe we can spend another hour talking about Superman, but I digress. Yeah, I'm going to the next week we are gonna do three, but I am going to uh try to stick to topic. I mean, we were on topic because we did have a reason for talking about Superman. He was, let me just write down something really quick. Um, Okay. Yeah, we did have a good reason because he was, he was doing some time travel, shenanigans in 1978. So we had to talk about that. But to be very honest with you, I had so much fun talking about Superman's character and who he really is, and I really am fascinated by the character, and I do love all of the different iterations of him, um, because um, he could be played any way, right? He's a sort of a transient character in that way. You can see him as Clark, you can see him as Superman, you can see him as sort of a mixture of both, and and still have fun with the character. So yeah, I do like that. Uh, thing. We haven't even talked about Batman. Like, who is he really? Is he really Batman or is he really Bruce Wayne? Nice. More questions. So Brogu says, thank you, RG. This was fun. Have a nice night. Okay, so well, I'm gonna save that for our ending here. So look, I guys, I did want to share something with you that I'm gonna have to share with you next week because it of course we're running out of time to let you guys have enjoy the rest of your day. Um, but I'm going to play a 3 minute video where you can, let me just see, do this one thing. What happened? Yeah, I am gonna play the video. It's about 3 minutes long, and you guys can say goodbye to each other in the chat. That your friends in there, and any new friends that you made today. I had a blast talking about the time travel movies, and also talking about these really interesting concepts surrounding Superman. I mean, thank you for bringing it up, Unicorn Rampant Studio, because that whole thing with the time travel just led us down another rabbit hole of talking about the character of Superman, and it kind of made me realize how much I do like him. Quite a fondness, and always have had quite a fondness for Superman as a character. But without further ado, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you in the next video. It will be a watch party, and tomorrow, Ice Pirates. We'll have a lot of fun, guys. See you then.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.